And now to Brexit. The March 29th deadline has been passed, nearly 3 years since Article 50 was triggered, and British lawmakers are yet to agree on a deal that would enable them to have an honourable exit from the European Union. Everyone's wondering what's going on. Will Britain ever leave the EU, and how? Here's a review of what has happened recently.
Mr. Speaker, I fear we are reaching the limits of this process in this House. This House has rejected no deal. It has rejected no Brexit. On Wednesday, it rejected all the variations of the deal on the table. And today, it has rejected approving the withdrawal agreement alone.
Prime Minister Theresa May, calm in the face of defeat of her Brexit deal, but frustrated all the same.
Today we can take a step.
Lawmakers have rejected her Brexit deal a third time, leaving Britain's withdrawal from the European Union in turmoil on the very day it was supposed to leave the bloc. The decision to reject a stripped-down version of the divorce deal has left it totally unclear about how, when, or even whether Britain will leave the EU, and plunges the three-tier Brexit crisis to a deeper level of uncertainty. It appeared Mrs May's plea before the vote about fulfilling the will of the British people had only fallen on deaf ears.
That the deal that we have agreed, the arrangements and the proposals that we have put forward absolutely apply to the 48% who voted Remain, because they recognise the necessary balance between delivering on the result of the referendum while doing that in a way that protects jobs, protects livelihoods and protects people's security.
And yet, nothing. Leaving an air of disappointment and a feeling of betrayal on the one hand.
They're not going to get away with it. If they won't give us Brexit, we'll take it ourselves. There's a political earthquake going to happen in this country, and it needs to happen very, very quickly.
We were expecting to celebrate our independence as a sovereign nation today, not having to virtually start again from scratch. I feel very, very angry.
All I've seen now is a bunch of politicians sitting in Parliament doing what they want to do, ignoring everybody else, and I really feel like I've lost my trust in the politicians.
I've never marched in my life before. That's why I'm here. It's that important.
If Brexit is not delivered, then we do not live in a democracy anymore, and that is absolutely huge for this country, absolutely huge. So extremely passionate about the fact that I want to live in a democracy.
And desperation on the other. And an overall sense of uncertainty and frustration across Europe.
I came here in 2014, so it's 5 years last January, and obviously this is my new home. I'm happy here. I have a family, a little child, expecting the second one. So yeah, we would like to stay as long as possible.
For sure, I believe that it could be a problem if starting from the 30th of March, someone wants to come into the UK, they need to apply for the scheme. Obviously, it's going to make it hard. I mean, already for me as a business, I'm struggling finding good stuff.
You will become victim, potentially, to the hostile environment of the UK. It means that you potentially face being removed. It means that you will not be able to work. It means that you will not be able to access certain healthcare services. It means potentially you will not be able to open a bank account or rent or drive a car.
It's irresponsible for any country to change the status of people that already live here. This is our home. We live here, we build our families, we had babies here, we loved here. And suddenly we're told, oh, you're not like us.
I think even the British people don't understand anything these days. I think this is a subject which is now purely political, and that the British people don't have a choice anymore, because there are politicians tearing each other apart to benefit their parties. Unfortunately, it is now more about politics.
I think at the beginning, There were lots of misleading statements from both sides, whether pro or anti-Brexit. Then, the British voted for the first time. If each time we must vote again, with a new referendum to have the results accepted, it becomes a bit complicated. People have expressed their opinion the first time. They may have been better informed if they didn't want this to happen.
They should finally decide what they want. I can somehow understand that they want to leave, but they can't say, I will keep all the advantages but not the disadvantages. That's impossible. When I leave, it's over, and everything must be renegotiated. So I think they should finally say what they want and come to an agreement.
Da denke ich mal, sollten Sie mal sagen, was Sie denn jetzt wollen und sich da einig werden.
And while the rest of Europe looks to Britain for direction on where it may be headed, a friend awaits on the other side of the pond.
You know, it's very complicated inside Britain. I know they're going through a lot of turmoil. But really, I think the President would like to reassure the people of the United Kingdom how strongly we feel that we want to be there for them when they do come out of the European Union. You know, I think the President sympathizes with anybody going through some of the pressure that Prime Minister May is. He's certainly seen his share of it, and I think being a man who empathizes with people in that position, that's what he's expressing. But I'm sure it's not appropriate for us to speculate really on what the Prime Minister should do or her party. You know, they held one referendum. The vote was pretty clear. In the European Union, they like to say that we make the people vote until they get it right, meaning pro-EU votes. So I guess I'd say if you're going to hold a second referendum and Remain wins, they ought to hold a third referendum and call it best 2 out of 3.